Why do lesbians connect so quickly? The deep emotional bond unveiled. Ever wonder why lesbian relationships seem to move at lightning speed, with deep emotional bonds forming almost instantly? It's not just a stereotype, it's a reflection of profound emotional, social, and even biological forces at play. If you've ever experienced or witnessed the U-Haul effect in lesbian love, you're about to discover why it happens and what makes these connections so intense and enduring. In this in-depth exploration, we'll reveal 10 powerful reasons why lesbians form emotional connections so quickly, going beyond surface-level explanations to uncover the psychological, social, and biological elements that fuel these intense bonds. 1. Shared emotional language and empathy. Lesbians often report that their relationships with other women feel more emotionally fulfilling and naturally aligned. Women, in general, are socialized to be emotionally expressive, empathetic, and nurturing. When two women come together in a romantic relationship, they're able to understand and validate each other's emotional experiences without the need for decoding or over-explaining their feelings. This emotional synergy fosters vulnerability, which in turn accelerates emotional intimacy. Unlike relationships where partners struggle to read each other's emotions, lesbians experience a flow of emotional communication that feels effortless and profound. It's like speaking a shared language without ever having to learn it, creating a bond that's hard to break. 2. Freedom from gender norms and roles. In heterosexual relationships, traditional gender roles often create pressure for women to perform emotional labor or meet certain perfect partner expectations. In lesbian relationships, these societal scripts are much less rigid. Without the constraints of gender roles, lesbians are free to express their true selves, voice their desires, and communicate openly about their emotional needs. This freedom allows for raw, unfiltered emotional authenticity. The absence of rigid gender roles fosters an environment of honesty, mutual support, and equality. Both partners feel seen and understood in a way that's difficult to achieve in relationships built on outdated gender expectations. This openness allows for a faster emotional connection, as there is no pressure to perform or be anything other than one's true self. 3. Making up for lost time. For many LGBTQ+ individuals, the journey to self-discovery and coming out is long and emotionally taxing. Many lesbians spend years hiding their desires, often conforming to heterosexual norms to avoid stigma or rejection. When they finally embrace their true identity, there's a natural urgency to experience the love, intimacy, and acceptance they've long denied themselves. This making up for lost time phenomenon creates an emotional drive to form deeper connections quickly. The joy of finally being seen and loved for who they truly are can lead lesbians to move rapidly in relationships, eager to experience what they've missed. This urgency isn't reckless, it's a celebration of love finally lived freely. 4. Shared experiences of marginalization. Women in same-sex relationships often share similar experiences of marginalization due to gender and sexual orientation. These shared experiences create a profound bond, as both partners have faced societal discrimination, rejection, or the challenge of coming out. Unlike heterosexual relationships, where one partner may not fully grasp the weight of these experiences, lesbians can understand each other's lived realities. This mutual understanding builds trust and emotional intimacy, allowing for deep conversations that might not occur in other relationship dynamics. When someone understands your pain without explanation, it's easier to form a quick emotional attachment. 5. Emotional safety and validation. For many women, relationships with men can feel emotionally unsafe, with fears of invalidation, emotional detachment, or having their feelings dismissed. Lesbian relationships, by contrast, often offer a heightened sense of emotional safety. Partners validate each other's emotions rather than minimizing or dismissing them. This emotional safety creates a space for both partners to be vulnerable, share fears, and communicate their emotional needs. When you're in a relationship where your emotions are heard and affirmed, emotional intimacy grows quickly. Women feel at home with each other emotionally, accelerating the pace of relational bonding. 6. Desire for deep intimacy and vulnerability. Unlike in some heterosexual dating scenarios, where people play it cool or avoid being vulnerable too early, lesbian relationships prioritize emotional depth and authenticity from the start. Women's friendships are already built on deep emotional bonds, and this same dynamic extends into romantic relationships. This tendency to go deep early on allows lesbians to form powerful connections. Vulnerability is seen as a strength rather than a risk, leading to fast emotional attachment. Deep conversations happen on the first date, and emotional walls are often lowered from the start. This willingness to go all in creates a strong emotional bond within a short time. 7. Hormonal connection, oxytocin. The love hormone oxytocin plays a powerful role in forming emotional connections. Women naturally have higher levels of oxytocin than men, and the hormone is released during physical touch, intimacy, and sex. In lesbian relationships, the combined oxytocin effects from two women heighten emotional attachment. Touch, cuddling, and physical closeness trigger oxytocin release, making the emotional connection feel stronger early on. This hormone creates feelings of love, safety, and security, making it easier for lesbians to feel like they are falling in love quickly. The intensity of this hormonal bond is one reason why lesbian relationships may feel so passionate and emotionally consuming. 8. Less pressure to conform to dating rules. Traditional dating rules like waiting 3 days to text back or playing it cool don't typically apply to lesbian relationships. Lesbian dating is often more authentic, with emotional needs and desires expressed from the beginning. Without these arbitrary dating rules, lesbians are free to message each other frequently, discuss feelings openly, and prioritize emotional connection over games. This approach creates a feedback loop of connection and attention, accelerating emotional bonding. The absence of dating rules means emotional intimacy grows naturally, rather than being held back by artificial timelines. 9. Desire for emotional stability under the perfect partner. Many women dream of having a partner who understands their emotional needs, listens actively, and offers deep empathy. In a lesbian relationship, those dreams are often fulfilled. Lesbians tend to approach relationships with a desire for emotional stability and connection, rather than superficial attraction alone. The emotional alignment between partners creates a sense of completeness, as if they found someone who gets it. This fulfillment strengthens the emotional bond and accelerates intimacy. When you feel like you've met your perfect partner, it's easy to fall deeply in love. 10. The U-Haul mentality. The U-Haul stereotype refers to the joke that lesbians move in together quickly after meeting. While exaggerated, it's rooted in reality. The deep emotional bonds formed early on make it feel natural to merge lives quickly. This intensity isn't unique to lesbians, but the shared emotional language, empathy, and hormonal connection mean that many lesbians feel ready to cohabitate sooner than others. It's the ultimate expression of "we're in this together," and while it's not always the best choice, it's easy to see how the emotional intensity leads there. If you found this exploration insightful, subscribe to Pagewise for more profound discussions on relationships, emotional connections, and self-awareness. We're dedicated to helping you live with wisdom and authenticity in every aspect of your life. Don't miss our next deep dive. Hit that subscribe button now to stay in the loop. Have you experienced the fast emotional connection in lesbian relationships? Drop a comment and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear your story.